RVA City, what's good, man? It's your boy, the G-Man, man. See him live from the G-Room. Listen, I want to talk about a real serious topic, man, that parental alienation. You know what that's about, man. That's the hostility shown towards the child to the other parent coming from the other parent. Two parents can't get along, man. One makes the child choose teams, and you know what happens after that. Disaster, man. It's not good for the children. It's not good for their future. It's not good for the parents. There's a lot of drama involved in that. There's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of confusion going on. I'm here to fight against all that, man. I'm here to tell you and just reveal some stuff about it. Help you understand that what is parental alienation and how does it get started? Where does it come from? How can we defeat it? How can we even just recognize it when it's happening to us, man, as men? Now, as women, you know, I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to just talk about the good and the bad, but in the state of Virginia, in most cases, man, when child support is involved or custody is involved, the child is given to the mother, which is called the custodial parent. Then the father gets other rights, which is called the non-custodial parent. Now, in dealing with that, there's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of things you can do that can lead to a good future with you and your child, if you and the co-parents not together, or it can lead to that drama. And everybody knows that is. That's that courtroom, it's that child support, and that's that drama that nobody likes to go through because it causes so much pain and so much destruction. Now, how do we even recognize this stuff that's going on? Parental alienation, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I call it disease, P-A-D. It's a disease, why? Because most people catch it. It gets in your successor parents, even if they move forward. That's gonna make your child better. But one parent hates that fact of that matter, and things don't go on. Now, I'm gonna stop right there because most people say, well, how do you know all about this? Or why are you such an expert? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went through PAD. I went through parental alienation with my own children, and it was a hard thing for me to overcome, but I did. And we overcame it, and we saw what it was together, and we became father and son all over again. And I went through it with more than one child. It was a sad thing, but it had to happen. And parental alienation doesn't have to come from the other co-parent. It can also come from other family members. See, when you're in competition with your children or other family members are in competition with the child, first thing they do is always try to disadvantage the parent, the co-parent that they're alienating. Let's put them at a disadvantage. I'm gonna speak for myself. Let's put them at a disadvantage. Let's put her at a disadvantage. Let's make sure that we can offer you more than they can offer you. That's a part of parental alienation. Giving gifts, doing things like that. That's an example of it, because trying to buy a child's love from them or buy a child's separates from the parent, that's wrong, man, because you're using your tactics and using money to make a child choose between having a bond with his mother or a bond with his father. Now, when a child loses a bond with his mother or father, usually they act up during the system of their life. Now, how do I know that? I've been through it. See, one thing I talked about, and when I say that, what's my expertise? When I had to go through these things, my children began to be on their own. What I mean by that, they stayed to themselves. Since you can't choose a parent, since we can't coexist together, I'll just do me and y'all do y'all, and everybody just grow up separate. Now, I went through that and I had to rebuild my whole relationship with my son because it's going to seem that way, especially if the child's you're giving custody to the child. That's easy to alienate the child. They're around you all the time. They're doing things with you all the time. All you have to keep saying, your daddy don't want to be around when he can be calling every day. That's another example of parental alienation. Getting your phone number blocked. A lot of men don't know that when you have children and they live with their mothers and y'all don't have a good relationship, sometimes your number may be blocked in your child's cell phone. So you're texting, I love you, and you're texting, be good in school, they're not even getting it. So you're texting, wondering why you're not getting a response, and all along, they're not even getting the text message. They're alienating you. They're trying to keep you away from being a responsible parent or being in their lives because of bitterness, scornfulness, resentment. You may have been a cheater. You may have been bad with finances. Whatever the case may be, abusive. That's physical and verbal. That's all of those are wrong, but all of those are causes of PAD. Now, there are good parental alienation. And I say this because if you're an abusive man and you've been abusive to your child and abusive to the mother, I will keep the child away from you too until you get yourself in order. But I'm talking about the men who really want to be there, the men who really try, the men who really have a lot to give, a lot to offer to their children, and they're just being alienated. And I'm talking about those women who go through the same thing. They have so much to offer, but at a young age, they told the child they can live with their fathers, and the father just started keeping them away from them. That happens too, but 9 times out of 10, maybe 7 times out of 10, it's vice versa with the women because of the state that we're in, which is Virginia. Now, enrichment, RVA. That's all I'm talking about because that's who I'm here to help. I came back to my city to rebuild the same city that I tore down. The first thing they say is, man, you know she keeping from me, or you know I'm paying child support. That's another form of alienation. If the child's dad is paying child support, that means you're not a single parent. You have a support system. That means you have a co-parent. Most women say I'm single because they feel like they're not married, they're not with that parent, and they taking care of the kids. But you're not a single parent. You have co-parents. They may don't live with you. The best thing to do is to have joint custody and let the child go from one parent to the next parent's home, and you guys have a dialogue to characterize the child as he's at each other's home. Does that make sense? I give an example. My son is 10 years old. His mom, if she has a rule at his house, he's on punishment. When he comes here, he has a punishment. It doesn't change because he's here. Oh, I'm gonna take him to NBA game. I'm gonna take him to NFL game. I'm gonna take him to the gym with me. I'm gonna do all these things. Nah, your mom said you're on punishment, so this is your punishment. 5 to 9, you doing schoolwork. 9 to 5, you doing reading. You get what I'm saying? I'm just making up stuff, but that's the option that we're talking about. He need to work on his spelling words. He need to do this for 2 hours. He need to do that for 3 hours. That's what her rules there. They make her rules here. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And guess what? My wife enforced. You understand? And then add on something to herself. And then send him home with her rules to his mom's house. That's called co-parenting. And you know what happens? My son is an honor roll student. Highly intelligent if it doesn't work like that. If you can't co-parent with the family. Well, I've been through that as well. What I did was I persevered. First and foremost, sometimes, man, as men, we get on child support. I'm gonna talk about that topic another time, but this parental alienation, and it has to coexist with the word child support. CSE, child support enforcement. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of that because if you're paying your child support, you're gonna have a parental rights. And as your parental rights, you just use them. That's all you do, and you build that relationship. When I had to rebuild my relationship with my son, the first thing I did, I sat him down as a young man. I said, well, look, I know I won't dare in the latter teenage years of your life because I moved on from all the drama with being a man with all that back and forth stuff. I told you I'd be there for you, and I was with you. We were together. Didn't miss a game, didn't miss schoolwork, parent-teacher conference, orientation. I missed none of that type of stuff, but all the beating down the doors went away. Here's why. Once you start alienating the child from the co-parent, whichever has the dominant parent, the child starts taking on their characteristics. Once the child starts taking on their characteristics, you got an issue. And I know that's when most men give up. That's when most men break off. That's when most men take a step back like I did and say, look, I'm going to be here when you're ready. I'm going to be here when the time comes when you start to say, okay, I'm not going to treat my dad like that. I know he loves me and I know he wants to be with me. Now, I'm not saying my kids didn't ever love me, but when you get alienated and you get to be chosen and thrown around and people pick and choose which side to go on, and they pulling, they hearing all this bad stuff, and you as a parent in the early days, I straight want to throw bad stuff about their mother too. But now as a man, I'm like, I'm not going to ever speak negative about that co-parent because that's the mother of my children. I'm going to just tell you I love you. I'm going to be here when you're ready. So when they were ready, I had all my information, everything that I needed to speak to them with. All the dollar amounts, all the receipts, everything to say, listen, I was there financially, I was there physically, and I was there emotionally. We just maybe lost a little bond because you overheard some things that may or may not have been true. You got to be a man about things. Some things I had to do, walk on and say, it was true, son. I did that. You know what I'm saying? Some things I had to say, well, that wasn't true, son. You never bash the parent. Your co-parent. You never bash any other family members. What you do is, love your child through thick and thin. I guarantee you can break that bonus of that parental alienation. Now, one more topic we're going to talk about. The child support. There's a way out of child support. There's 3 ways out of child support. I'm going to give you all 3. Then I'm going to get off this feed right now. It's 10 minutes in. Watch this. First one, lump sum payout. You go to that parent and you go talk to that parent. Listen, I love my child. I want to be there for them. Him or her, I want to do some things. I know I owe you this. I know I'm in debt, but here's this. I got this lump sum amount. Can I pay you this? We work something out with the child support division, or if you just pay her, I write it. You got to do this now. Notarize a letter saying this is how much I'm gonna pay every month. I won't miss a payment. Just count it. just mark me as paid up 0 and carry on your amount. That's one. If you got a co-parent, this is what you got to do. You got to sacrifice. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. If you're behind, then you got to put away, stop buying Jordans. You got to stop buying weed. You got to stop buying the blunts. You got to stop buying True Religion. You got to stop buying the phone posits. You got to stop buying the Parental Alienation. And you got to just start going hard and pay the child support down first. Now, it's not going to take that long. State of Virginia, most child supports go up to $500 a month, $600 a month per child. How many child you have? Okay, you calculate it. You calculate how much money you need to catch up, how much money you need to be in front, how much money you need before it to be over with, and you work towards that. I'm gonna tell you a good example, man. I was behind when I first started child support, but when I finished paying it, I paid it early. I paid it off, and it was done with, and that just makes sense. And the first time I used was the lump sum payment with one child support scenario, and it worked. The second time I had to go through scenarios because the parent wasn't cordial enough to go through a lump sum payment, so I had to keep on paying month by month. All I did was stop buying basketball shoes, stop chilling, stop doing things that I shouldn't do, eating out, whatever, and I paid it. Got my letter this year, my third child support letter of releasement. The third one in my life, the last one in my life. I would never have to pay child support again in my life. And watch this. Thank God for that for me. But for you guys, you can end up with doing that as well. Here's why. You gotta be diligent on what's going on. You gotta be diligent on how to do that. Now, the third scenario about child support. Now, if you're in a relationship with a woman and you back and forth, 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 but you, in your heart, you know that's the one you want to be with. You know that's the one you want to spend your life with. You know that's the one you want to really be settled down with. Hey, man, if you're 30 plus, it's time to buckle up, man, and get right, man, and change your baby mama last name, man. She should be your wife by now. You should be a wife. Y'all should be settled down. Y'all should be raising them kids together, doing what you're supposed to be doing. Don't hold her back from me, Mr. Right, and don't let her hold you back from me, Miss Right, if that's not the one. But if that's the one, change her name from baby mama to your wife, man. Make her last name yours, and you build your family up. Child support will go away, all that drama will go away, and y'all live a best life that y'all can ever live, man. Live with the G, man. A few little nuggets today. Y'all have a good one, man.